Welcome to the Napa Valley Center for Spiritual Living. We are a vibrant, inclusive, and spiritual community that seeks to live intentionally, love unconditionally, and see God in all people and in all faiths. We believe the work we do in prayer and in the community creates a world that works for all cultures, races, orientations, and faiths. For over 60 years, we have practiced thinking globally and acting locally to help awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. Annually, hundreds of people actively participate in our services, classes, events, and in our Spanish-speaking ministry. And we are training the next generation of spiritual leadership in our ministerial school. In the last few years, because of apparent divisions politically and socially, and because of threats to basic human rights, we have magnified our application of Science of Mind principles with engagement and compassion in action in the greater Napa Valley community. Our members have participated in women's marches, pride events, and we have hosted speakers on racial issues. We have empowered and mentored diverse leaders in our community and given scholarships to diverse ministerial students. We have donated over 4,000 pounds of food to our local food bank. Our spiritual director, Reverend Jay Lang, has facilitated an interfaith leadership group to hold public prayer vigils and 9/11 commemorations in participation with Jews, Muslims, and Christians. We have fostered the creation of a beloved community in the larger Napa Valley area by honoring community heroes at events and tithing to and partnering with a dozen different nonprofits that share our vision. Together, we've created a Martin Luther King Day of Service where over 1,200 participated in community service annually. The leadership of our parent organization, the Centers for Spiritual Living, headquartered in Golden, Colorado, recognized our community for all of the outstanding, compassionate work we've been doing over the last few years with the 2022 Meritorious Community Award. As we move forward to do this work of the heart, to awaken the world to its spiritual magnificence, will you join us as we continue to ascend to new heights and create a world that works for everyone?
12 o'clock.
Slide presentation and your And then the week after that, we're starting our class series and new book study group with Laura Keller, who's doing a Rion Eisler book called Sacred Pleasure, New Paths to Power and Love. And it's a historical account of how we've suppressed, but both our individually, our own pleasure, our own being in our body, and recognizing the power it's in that, as well as institutional suppression. So it's a powerful book. I would say especially for women, but I think for all people. And that's at Monday at, does anybody know what time it starts? I think 6:30, 7. We'll find that out. So, oh, you're right here. I didn't even see you. Okay. Okay, we'll figure that out. We'll let you know. Okay. And then also the next night on Tuesdays, I'm starting a series of 7 Tuesdays. And that does start at 7 o'clock. Nobody has times on these. So it starts at 6:30, actually, I think it does. But there are 7 Tuesdays. I know that part, but it starts at 6:30. And what it is, it's based on Dr. Roger Thiel's book, and we're going to present 7 principles and go through 1 week at a time. And it really brings towards your empowerment in your life and encourage you to be a part of that class. Registration is available online. And then on the 23rd of Saturday, we're having a workshop with Donna and Dana, who are leading a group about body mindfulness, a path of healing. So that's just a 1-day Saturday class from 10 to noon. And pre-registration is $25. You can also find that registration online. So, and be a part of that. I know I'm going to be there for that workshop because I'm looking forward to that. And they'll talk more about that next week. I thought there was, and then it doesn't have a slide here, but at the end of the month, on the 30th, on a Saturday at 4 p.m., we are having our annual donor gratitude event. So grateful for all the support we're getting from all of you. It's just open to come and enjoy some wine, enjoy some sparkling water in each other's company, some appetizers, and just share our community. So that's on Saturday, September 30th at 4 p.m. So please also know that we are here for you in prayers. We'll have practitioners after the service to pray with you if you so wish, or to fill out prayer requests in the lobby, or to fill them out online. It is our honor and pleasure to support you in prayer in whatever way. And now we'll begin the sacred part of our service.
Every step is holy, every breath is life, every moment precious when held up to the light. every heart connected, each the face of God. Grace has shown me every step is holy. Every breath, every step is holy. Every step is holy. Every breath is life. Every moment precious when held up to the light. Every heart connected, each the face of God. Grace has shown me every step is holy. Every step is holy. Every step is holy.
Just staying in that presence that's within us, that every step is holy. Every breath that we breathe is holy as we breathe deeply in. And just relaxing in the out-breath, letting it all go. Knowing that whatever concerns and worries you might have on your heart right now, whether it be for yourself or another, for this time we just let it go and become present with this very moment. Just allowing the goodness of Spirit to be within us. Recognizing the divine essence, the divine peace, the divine love that's within us. That is present. How good it is to be in the awareness of the presence of the divine. And we know this presence is in this room and everywhere around us. That we allow this greater sense to be that which we are in this moment. As we invite all of us into this space, for all of us is welcome and all are welcome. We know the music and the message is in allowing the Spirit to come through us, as each person in here and online is that presence, allowing the goodness of all life. We are grateful for this morning. We're grateful for this truth of our knowing, our consciousness, our awareness, and our divine beingness in all ways. We know this to already be so, and so it is.
Surprised if peace broke out all over. I wouldn't be surprised if I found a 4-leaf clover, 'cause miracles abound. They happen all around me every day. a hunger, I wouldn't be surprised if we just kept getting younger, 'cause miracles abound. They happen all around me every day. Life keeps blessing me with so much good. I wouldn't change it even if I could. Blessing me in every way, and if it all turns out okay, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I wouldn't be surprised if I found out every answer. I won't be surprised when we find a cure for cancer, 'cause miracles abound. They happen all around me every day. And life keeps blessing me with so much good. I wouldn't change it even if I could. Blessing me in every way, and if it all turns out okay, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. And life keeps blessing me with so much good. I wouldn't change it even if I could. Blessing me in every way, and if it all turns out okay, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Life keeps blessing me with so much good. I wouldn't change it even if I could. Blessing me in every way, and if it all turns out okay, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Thank you. Thank you.
So good to have you here, Gary. It's such a blessing. Glad you could be with us. So, greetings, everybody. I am back from a short retreat I had, a silent retreat that I was just in a lot of contemplation. It was just in Marin County, so just a county over near Lagunitas, and in a beautiful spot. And I brought my kayak, and I thought I'm going to do some kayak. I'm going to go down the ocean, and my soul just kept going, no. Okay. So I just spent a lot of time being. I did spend also some time writing. I wrote about 100 pages in a manuscript that may or may not turn into a book. I feel like a painter where I might not sell the painting, but it's good to exercise the creative aspects of writing without trying to constrict it into a 25-minute talk. So it was fun to do that. And so I've got hundreds of pages to talk about today. And I know Gary has hundreds of songs, so how much time you got? No, not really. I'll spread it out some. But it's good. It was good to have that time just to be, and it was on a person's farm and just to the kind of the side area, one side of their farm, and it was really nice to be a part of that. So today I'm talking about being perfectly imperfect. Now that may sound like a oxymoron, to be perfectly imperfect. But the truth is we are humans. And it's part of who we are that sometimes mistakes happen. And what makes our imperfection perfect is how we respond to those, how we learn from that, how we expand and evolve and open up in that way. I know that that which is coming through us is spirit if we're willing to allow it, if we're willing to become conscious of it. The concern that I have is most of us, if not all of us, are trying to be imperfectly perfect. That we're still trying to be perfect, even if it's not possible. And then we feel bad. We beat ourselves up. We feel guilty for not being perfect when we think it is. And in truth, that perfection, that ideal of what we call perfection, is based on false beliefs or social ideas, social ways of what we should be, ought to be, could be, would be, and would have been. And we can just let all that go. And if we're willing to be perfectly imperfect, we can open up to something that is even greater. Brene Brown talks about it being wholeheartedness. Parker Palmer talks about it being an undivided life. That we can sense our wholeness, our whole beingness, that is the spirit within us, that all aspects of us are perfect in that way. That we are whole, we are complete, there's nothing missing. And Ernest Holmes, our founder, talked about being whole, complete, and perfect. I still think that perfect word there's a twinge there with it. Like you're not ready to fully accept your perfection. I can see your perfection. You probably see other people's perfection. But to see your own perfection, you're kind of going, oh, I don't know. So I kind of changed that to whole, complete, and fabulous. And you, my friends, are fabulous. So what I'd like you to do is turn to a neighbor and just tell them you look fabulous today. All right, enough fabulouses now. So I think the importance of what we do is opening up to a greater sense of spirit, and not be too caught into this or that. And for us to be perfectly imperfect, we just need to show up and pay attention is the first thing. Just show up. If you don't show up in attempt to be authentic and wholehearted and alive, then you will never realize your full self, your full wholeheartedness, your full wholeness, your full fabulousness. So we just show up and pay attention. I've been reading the book of Thomas lately, and to give you a perspective of what the book of Thomas is, it's part of the lost Gospels, lost accounts of the life of Jesus. There were many, probably dozens and dozens of stories and accounts written of Jesus' life, and only 4 of them made it in the Bible. And this is the one of the Hammadi texts that were found in the 50s, but they're just now beginning to unwrap them because, one, there were only fragments left, and then also some people tried to take the fragments and sell them, so they were lost for a little bit. So they're, it's who we are. It's our humanness, right? But I just love this part that has been preserved from the book of Thomas, because really it's just, there's not much story in it. It's more the wisdom sayings of Jesus. And we think that the original accounts of his teachings were just his wisdom sayings. And this is one of them. The kingdom is inside of you and it is outside of you. So the kingdom is within and it's everywhere. And when you come to know yourselves, then you will become known. Now, what that is referring to is these were Gnostic, a certain kind of belief system, and knowing meant conscious and aware. So you became, so when you come to know yourself, when you are seek within, then you become conscious and aware. And it goes on to say, you will realize that it is you who are the sons and daughters of the living Creator. So a lot of people called him the Son of God. In this, he's calling everybody the sons and daughters of God, the children of God, of the living God, of the Creator. But if you will not know yourselves, you will dwell in poverty, and it is you who are that poverty. So I don't think he's talking about money here. I think he's talking about a poverty in the soul that we are missing if we're not willing to open up to the truth of who we are. So our willingness to reveal, our willingness to open up to who we are is just about showing up and paying attention. This was the view I took a picture of. I had taken a hike up on the hillside in Marin County in the Mount Tamalpais watershed. And you can see in the distance Mount Tamalpais there. And I think it's great to take a moment just to get perspective of your life, to see where you've been, where you've come from, and where you're going, and just be present with that. And then I noticed, oops, I'm messing up my slides here. I think that is, yeah, that's the slide. Oh, no, there it is. That's what I was looking for. I looked over to the left, and in the distance, I could even see the Richmond Bridge and the bay. I go, oh, yeah, that's right. That's where I am. You know, sometimes it was interesting that it was closer than I thought it was, this opening of what it is. This truth of who we are is present. And also, while I was sitting there, looking out over this horizon and seeing the path I'd come up and seeing which way I was going to go from here, a dragonfly came by in front. And for a moment, my presence was just with this dragonfly that was using the winds of the hills that were right there. And I was transfixed. And it reminded me of Mary Oliver's One Summer Day, if you've read that poem. It's a beautiful poem, and she's transfixed by a grasshopper that's in her hand, that she had some sugar, and it's eating the sugar off her hands, and that moment is, she's just present in the moment. That's what I felt with the dragonfly. And Mary Oliver goes on to say, I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention and how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I've been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is your plan to do with your one wild and precious life? You've probably heard that last quote many times. And what we can do with this one wild and precious life is not necessarily a list of accomplishments that we do, but being present, just showing up and paying attention, being present with each other, present with life, present to what is revealing in us at the moment. Whatever that is, the truth that is holding us in this moment. If it's a perceived mistake we have, a perceived misstep we've taken, or a confusion, or a doubt, or a diagnosis that's going through, we show up and pay attention and allow Spirit to reveal in us what is the highest and best coming forth in that moment. What is this aliveness that is here? When I was on my hike, I turned what was going to be a 2-hour hike by making a mistake in the trail, and it ended up a 3-hour hike. And then I was coming down, I noticed I dropped my hat, and it was a hat I really loved. So I turned around and then added another 30 minutes because I went back up the hill to get my hat. I did find it. But we just show up and we do our best for what is opening up in us. And we let it reveal in us a greater life. Reveal in us a greater truth that is expressing through us. This week I read about a research that was done at the New York Graduate Center. And it was a quantum physics thing. And their theory was that if waves could collide at the quantum level, in the same way that a reflection of light is a mirror that reflects light back to us. A reflection of a sound is an echo that we hear back. So their idea was that they were going to reflect time back on itself, and they were able to do that. Now, my first thought is, let me see. So you're saying that our past is reflected in our present. I think we already knew that. A blinding flash of the obvious that which is before us has come forth. Now, it's great that science is beginning to prove what we already know. But what was interesting, as they said, they were able to increase, gain, or lose energy, or exchange things, kind of play with how big these waves are. And the same is true for us as we have life reflected back to us. For Ernest Holmes says that life is a mirror reflecting back to us, and we can be reflective, contemplative, and aware of that. We can increase the power it has over us or decrease the power over us. We can lower the volume that something in our past has. And it's, once again, good science has figured that out. But I think we already figured this out ourselves in spirit. Jim Carrey, the comedian. Now, I don't know many people that have made worse films than Jim Carrey. Some of them are. Some of them are pretty bad, but that's okay. Some of them are good too. But he is out there trying, and it's interesting. It comes from his childhood in some ways, where his parents, when they would have friends over, they would encourage him to entertain them because he was funny. But he tells a story that his father was funny too, but his father compromised his life out of fear and became an accountant. But when Jim Carrey was 12 years old, his father was fired, let go from that safe job. And he said, and it was a struggle for his family that they had to struggle just to make ends meet. But his learning from that is you can fail at what you don't want, so you might as well take a chance on do what you want to do in your life. So not letting things hold us back. Intuit Software, if you're familiar with them, they have some incredible products like QuickBooks and TurboTax. They're centered in Mountain View. They have a special award for the best failure, and they have failure parties to celebrate them because their co-founder, Scott Cook, says every failure teaches something important that can be used to see the next great idea. And Google does the same thing. They reward people for making mistakes and taking risk. And this, in our lives, if we're willing to take risk, we find our true nature, our true self. What brings our passion forth? What brings our aliveness to this place, to this world that we're in? What I know about life as we imagine. I know I don't believe in a spirit that is up there, but all around us. But we still imagine that spirit is descending into us, into our lives, into our bodies. And that's true of our chakra base that we have, that we consider the chakras above the heart to be of the awakening, the awareness, the consciousness. And we intuit, we download the spiritual energy through our chakras and bringing them into our body. We also have our, what often people term lower chakras, but I call them earth-based chakras because they are of value to us also. That they ground us into the earth. They are the roots of our ancestors. They are our sense of needing to be part of community, a tribe, people of our own. And there's also our personal power that is in our solar plex, around our solar plexus right here, that we recognize that we have this strength and inner strength. Some people have gut reactions or gut intuitions. It's both where you feel fear and where you have a sense of what might be best to do in a particular situation. So there's value in it. What I know about the heart center, it is the transition from our upper chakras into our earth-based chakras. And it is a transition from our groundedness rising up through our heart center and to our expression of our divine self. So our heart is this deeper connection. And if you look at certain religious symbols like our own, we talk about the descent of spirit. When you talk about the Jewish Star of David, it's formed by two triangles, and the metaphysical interpretation of this symbol is that the triangle that points down is the descent of spirit, while the one that's pointing up is our ascent into the heavenly bodies or into the upper chakras. If you look at the kinds of crosses that are here, both the Egyptian cross of one of everlasting life, the Greek cross, the Latin cross that's more familiar with people of the Christian faith, and the Celtic cross. And so all of these are also this line across that's not dissimilar from the lines in our science and mind symbols we have. And it represents, in a metaphysical term, the arms out, not of a person being crucified, because Jesus was crucified on a tree, not a cross anyway. But it's of, and what's in the middle of these arms outstretched is our heart. So our heart center, so once again, it is another way of depicting the descent of spirit through our heart center into manifestation into our life. So for me, this is a reframing of that cross. It's a reframing of the Star in David and our own symbol. So if we think of our science and mind symbol and the cross, and think about it as a heart that brings it into form, brings it into truth. It is our heart center that opens up, that allows us to be vulnerable and open, and allows us to reveal that which is coming through, that which is spirit, in all ways, that opens us up, that creates through us as us. And we just allow, it is also the heart that is the place of surrender. Because for us to be able to access the higher consciousness, we have to surrender into the heart that which no longer serves us, that which we're holding on to, that in the Aramaic version of Jesus talking about forgiveness, it's that which binds us inside. So we let loose that which binds us, so we can surrender, so we can bring spirit into form, into this life that we have, this opening. And what we're surrendering is not to be attached to the outcome, to our expectations, letting go of our expectations. These are, on my hike, I saw two trees, and the one on the right is this beautiful old tree, and the one on the left is this magnificent, 100 feet wide, beautiful tree that's there. They are both expressing the divine, right where they are. But we think only the one on the left-hand side is this expression of the divine, but everything is an expression of the divine. Wherever we are, whatever we're doing, there's a magnificence in it. Biologists talk about a mother or a monarch tree that are in the forest. And these are trees that either they are, like the one on the left, they're these huge trees that have incredible resources of a deep taproot, And they are aware, both through their own root system that spans out as wide as their branches go and beyond, and also through the mycelium, the fungi in the dirt, that they are communicating with other trees, other plants, and the ones that need nurturing, need extra water, they are giving it to them. And also, as those trees fall, as they become older and fall, they become living organisms for different kinds of mushrooms and plants that live in their trunks. They continue to give. And this is all a perfect and divine expression right where they are. That they can give life in this way. And we gain a greater truth by just allowing ourselves to be right where we are. To give, to love, to connect. Letting go of our expectations and just showing up and being in this place. And finally, we want to speak the truth. This was another tree that was near where I was camping, and this tree has a tire swing on it. It has you can't see them probably, but somebody has nailed boards up there so you can climb up the tree easily. And it's just a beautiful tree right on a little dry creek bed. And I know that it is speaking its truth from where it's at. But even if it was this tree, either of these trees, they are speaking their truth also. As I begin to open up to Spirit this week, I began to thinking about the song by Paul Simon, The Sound of Silence. If you've not heard of that song, I recommend playing it, going on YouTube and searching for it. Most of us have heard that song. And he's talking about welcoming the sound of silence, but there's a piece in it that I found fascinating, a little phrase in it, and that's people talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs that voices never share. Because no one dared disturb the sound of silence. So people hesitate, they procrastinate, they're not willing to speak their truth. Now, when I'm talking about speaking the truth, I'm not saying you have to be loud and obnoxious about it. You don't even have to say it out loud to anybody at all. But you know your truth. And from the very soul, you're willing to share it, you're willing to be it, you're willing to open up to what is the highest and best place to speak your truth. Not to be in the silence, not to go ahead, disturb the silence. What we know in our soul, what we speak in our affirmations and our prayers is known in the universe whether anybody hears it or not. What we know about ourselves, what we know about another person, is powerful just to speak it. If nobody is there, we can still speak it out loud. Some of my most fervent prayers are spoken when I'm on a walk by myself. But I know that truth that I am. This is the 60th anniversary of the Civil Rights March in Washington, D.C. And what's interesting about that, a march on Washington 60 years ago, is also yesterday somebody shot people that was racially motivated. And we're in this juxtaposition time when people overreact. People express dismay over opinions as being wrong or right. And this can't keep us from not speaking our truth. That we keep speaking our truth no matter what. It doesn't mean we need to confront anybody, because the truth is we want a way that we find that bridges, that opens us up. I appreciate that we had local environmental groups speak against wineries, most recently the La Colline winery. We want a balance between business and environment here, but I don't think it helps the environment to have hillside wineries that affect our watershed. So I appreciate Harris and other people that have spoken up strongly against that, and that the County Board of Supervisors voted against it. I know there's going to be some appeals happen, but I hope we stay strong in that decision not to be on that. Now, it's interesting, the County Board of Supervisors, probably just a coincidence that the 3 women voted against it and the 2 men voted for it. Probably just a coincidence. I think we need to rewrite the story of creation where we blame Eve for eating the apple, when really the apple was about becoming conscious, becoming aware. It was the tree of knowledge. Maybe we should start thanking women for biting the apple. And maybe us men need to follow right along and pick up this apple, pick up this idea that we can be open, that we can be spiritual beings and be willing to risk. As I talked about Dr. Dianna Markova, who wrote I Will Not Die an Unlived Life, and how she invites us to come to be fully alive. And Howard Thurman, who asked to find out what makes us come alive and go do it, because what the world needs is people who have come alive. When we look at the rest of the words of the Sound of Silence that I was thinking about, it said, "Hear my words that I may teach you. Take my arms that I might reach you." My restatement of that would be, let's hear each other's words, that we might teach each other. And let's take our arms so we might reach out to each other, to express ourselves, and willing to create space for people to listen, be willing to create space for us to connect, willing to be who we are without expectations, without concerns, without worries, be willing to be vulnerable, be willing to open up to our deeper truths even when we are against the wall of a serious situation. I remember last night you were talking about being of 2 thoughts and choosing which thought we would, because we can't be 2 thoughts at once. We can really, despite people that think we can multitask, we are humans and can think one thing at a time. We need to choose that which we are thinking. The positive thought, the life-affirming thought, the creative thought, and let those other thoughts go. Let all those other expectations go. Brene Brown says that true belonging only happens when we present our authentic and perfect selves to the world. Our sense of belonging can never be greater than our level of self-acceptance. So not letting what we think get in the way of what is Spirit revealing in us in every moment. Let us go to prayer. What I know this day is that we are all Spirit, each one of us in our own way, each one that is opening up today to reveal that which is God, that which is good, that which is the greater truth that is coming through. I know Spirit is present in each of you and in me today. And that it is revealing this greater awareness, this greater awakening, this greater power and love and joy and truth. And for this we are so grateful for today as we just allow it to be. We're willing to be with it and express it in whatever way, whether it's through writing or music or just being present with other people. For this I'm so grateful today for my own willingness, for all the willingness in this room, for Spirit is that which is always expressing in perfect ways. And for this we're grateful today. We know it is so and declare it together, and so it is.
It's a new song I just wrote with my buddy Jamie Lula. Just talks about the energy that we create when we come together as a community. It's called Beloved Community. Beloved Community, we gather in unity. All are welcome here. All are blessed and a blessing to be. Beloved community, where we discover divinity, recovering who we are in our beloved community. It doesn't matter where we've come from. It doesn't matter what we've undone. All that matters is we're here now. Keep an open heart, let Spirit work it out. Beloved community, we gather in unity. All are welcome here. All are blessed and a blessing to be. Beloved community, where we discover divinity, recovering who we are in our beloved community. It doesn't matter where we've come from. It doesn't matter what we've undone. All that matters is we're here now. Keep an open heart, let Spirit work it out. Beloved community, we gather in unity. All are welcome here. All are blessed and a blessing to be. Beloved community, where we discover divinity, uncovering who we are in our beloved community, recovering who we are in our beloved community, recovering who we are in our beloved community.
Good new song. That's great. Has that been recorded yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Brand new.
Okay.
I'll work on it.
Okay. No hurry. Just kind of curious. It's a good song.
Yeah, thank you. All right.
This is a time in our service when we invite you to be part of the law of circulation. We appreciate all the support you've given us over the years, over the weeks and times that we are continuing to express the divine through us. We know that there are many ways to give, including online donations, donations that you send in through the mail, or donations that you give here on Sundays. And we appreciate all the ways that you give and just are grateful for this. And that's part of what our donor event is at the end. So if we could have our ushers come forward. And if you'll take an imagination of what you've given at another time, or take what you're giving today and place it over your heart, and repeat with me this affirmation. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate, and so it is.
You'll know this one. Sing it with me. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. 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 One more time. Gratitude before me. Gratitude behind me. Gratitude to the left of me. Gratitude to the right of me. Gratitude above me. Gratitude below me. Gratitude within me. Gratitude all around me. We're so grateful. 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 We're so grateful.
Thank you. We like to acknowledge people who are here for the first time. There's not any initiation or rituals. We simply ask if you're willing to raise your hand. We have a gift to offer you, and we'd like to acknowledge you as being new. So if you're willing to raise your hand. Oh, hi, cousin. Any cousin of yours is a cousin of ours. So, in the Texas way, right? Everybody's a cousin. Gary and I both said, you were born in Texas, or you just
Born
lived?
in-
Yeah, I mean,
born
we're
in
both
Texas,
Texas, right? And we even admit it when we live in California and Nevada. So, let's raise our hands to our new people as well as anybody who might be joining us online that's new, and say this affirmation. We bless you today, knowing that the peace and happiness you seek is also seeking you. We honor your inner radiance as you let your light shine in the world. We are grateful for your presence in our community, and so it is. Remember to sign up for classes, the study group, and be here next week. I'm really excited about next week, the meditation at 9, Reverend David Clark speaking at 10:30, and then having the Uganda presentation after the service. So please join us for that. I think that will be great. And also fun with our ending song today. We'll do the community affirmation of the song. But we've been singing this for a couple of months, but guess who wrote it? Gary. So he's going to sing it like I think it's meant to be sang, maybe. We've been singing it all sorts of different ways. But if we could all stand up, and kind of those people are on the outsides and the front, turn towards the middle, spread out a little bit. Those in the middle can turn towards the outside. So when we get to the phrase, love be with you, we can look at each other and bless them and say, love be with you. So, but let's first of all do the community affirmation. Repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
I'm led by Spirit.
I'm led by Spirit.
I'm guided by wisdom.
I'm guided by wisdom.
I'm protected by love.
I'm protected by love.
I am here to be a blessing.
I'm here to be a blessing.
I am so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
And so it is.
So it is. Like we did last night, I'll sing a line, you sing a line, and then we'll be together when we get to the love be with you. But first of all, I'll sing, love be with you.
Love be with you.
Peace enfold you.
Peace enfold you.
Spirit lift you.
Lift you.
Breathe it in. Truth come through you. May good flow to you. Let joy renew you. Till we meet again. Till we meet again. Love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Let's go to the top with you. Peace enfold you, Spirit lift you, breathe it in. Truth come through you, make good flow to you. Let joy renew you till we meet again. Love be with you. Ooh, 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 love be with you.
As you go forth, may love be with you.